So we have the Pan Pacific Qualifier number 3 here for Australia and New Zealand. This is game 2 here. Voices is 1-0 up against Mafia. Just really quickly, we have talked a little bit about Shakuris, but these positions as well, I mean, this sort of brings more that backdoor into effect. I mean, do you think that helps Voices, or do you think it helps Mafia a bit more?
It really depends on the style of play that you see. If Voices decides to go for a one-base, heavy bio push, you can push down the back with 3 or 4 racks just of Marauders and Marines getting stim. You can wall in your front, you can get a bunker there if you want to be extra safe. And it can be really quite difficult to see it coming if it's played well by the Terran and to hold it off. You need creep tumors and you need spine crawlers. So that's definitely something that you need to keep in mind when you do play in these positions. Otherwise, it's pretty standard. Like Zerg can take a very easy third. Terran have a bit harder time of taking a third and holding a third. But other than that, the map is very large. And
yeah, definitely. We'll see what kind of comes into play here. I mean, the last game Mafia did do a speedling build there with gas and then pull. I mean, in these positions, I wouldn't be surprised seeing a 14 hatch from him, but we'll have to wait and see what he does. He's only at, well, he's at 14 supply now. Game's also lagging a bit, probably because we have a billion observers in here. Hopefully that can get fixed. But we have the racks at the bottom of the ramp here from Voices. Possibly a second one going down. Is this sort of positioning sign of early aggression?
it can be. I'm actually wondering what his thinking, his reasoning is behind building these barracks at the bottom of the ramp is, because if Zerg sends out early drone scouts, and especially if Zerg sends out 2 drones, you can just be you can be forced to waste a lot of time. Your barracks can be delayed quite a lot, and yeah, I really don't agree with putting the barracks there. But I think 2 racks in these positions, he's going to try and do the similar sort of thing, bunker rushes, maybe an SCV all-in. I think he might try to end this before it goes into the late game.
Definitely.
Even into the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, if not end it, at least do some damage. Mafia has gone hatch first, which could hurt him quite a bit. I mean, even in this long map here, already Marines coming out now. So I'm actually going to be quite interested when he does move out. He did move out last game with that 1 Marine, but it looks like he's waiting for a few more this time. One thing to keep in mind as well is there's a free Overlord outside his natural, and he's moving that away now. But how would you hold off against this Marine SCV all-in if you were Zerg, as it is actually happening now?
What he needs to do is pull more drones and be able to meet it out on the map before any bunkers can go down. He's got that spine crawler. What he really needs to do is pull more drones. He sees it's coming now. He needs to pull more drones from his main. He needs to fight this off with drones. He needs to build constant Zerglings. What is he doing? He is not building enough Zerglings. He's got idle lava here.
Here come the drones now. He actually did deny that bunker accidentally with Lings. Yep.
This is exactly what you want to do.
He just needs to deny until that spine crawler gets up, and he can retreat back up there. It's going to be very difficult to get anything up on that top of the ramp.
Bit poor micro by Mafia. He's losing a lot more than I thought he should. Retreating now. The spine crawler is done. What are you doing? Do not sacrifice these Zerglings like that.
Yeah, he is losing a few extra Zerglings, possibly just trying to buy time, but it's going to be very impossible to get up bunkers now. Still Marines streaming over though. I mean,
he needs to stop the Ling production and build drones.
Yep. Marine goes up the ramp. He's going to see that. Actually, he does pull back. Yeah, he's going to need to start building drones now. He's actually building 4 drones now, so he's realised it's kind of stopped that pretty well. But no gas at the moment from Mafia, so it's going to be hard for him to sort of tech up a bit. Can't get speed for a while, and we might actually see another attack coming along here, but we do have an expansion going now from Voices.
And it's a really solid build from Voices. I think Mafia, he's just not holding this correctly. His micro was quite poor. He lost more than he should have, and he overreacted and built too many Lings. So I think Voices can actually... I think I could safely say at this stage that Voices is in the lead.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just looking at unit counts real quickly. It's pretty even. Harvester count, though, it's pretty even as well, but obviously Mules will unbalance that a bit. He does have the orbital up. He's going double gas as well. I mean, is double gas unusual out of this, or would you think he might be going Banshee or something like that?
Well, considering he's not building, well, he wasn't building Marines out of his barracks there, he's actually supply blocked himself temporarily. Normally, what you can see from a couple of games in the GSL is you get 3 barracks and you can make a tight wall at the ramp, but he's actually getting a factory to complete that wall. I'm giving away that sort of free information at the front. It's not necessarily the best thing to do, but it's definitely okay. But I definitely think Spud can transition into whatever the hell he wants to do after that factory's done. He can go Thors, he can go siege tanks, Marines, and Medivacs, or he can go Banshees.
Yeah, he's putting down some a reactor and a tech lab. His Marines don't keep denying that reactor there. This Overlord being sacrificed over the top as well. It's just seeing absolutely nothing. I think the Lings at the bottom are going to see a lot more than this Overlord will, but if that gets picked up soon, it will be a free kill there. Obviously, it's sacrificed though. He does see the factory as well. And he's just pumping a lot. I'm actually looking at his at Mafia's natural now. Got a lot of drones there, which is great. His main could have more. I mean, he needs to spread that a bit more. He's also going for a Baneling Nest and a Roach Warren.
Oh, Spud scans it.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you scan a Baneling Nest and a Roach Warren, what's your reaction as a Terran player?
Normally you'll just be able to get bunkers, but in this position, because of the way Voices has walled this, I mean, he needs to have use of these add-ons, and this is a bit of a problem because there are no actual good bunker locations to defend against roaches. Banelings won't be as effective, but if Mafia can get a decent amount of roaches, spot these buildings with an Overlord or some Lings, you can actually probably take them out or at least force them off of these crucial add-ons.
Yep, for sure. We also see a third going up from Mafia. Looks like he wants to transition into a macro game here. He feels very strong in a macro game, I would imagine.
It is a good time to take a third.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his income right now, harvester count's almost at 50 compared to 35, so he's been powering drones quite hard there. And, I mean, dare I say, his income is just really solid right now, despite those early losses.
Yeah, if he continues to build drones over units, he could get into a little bit of trouble. I'm really not seeing how he'll be able to hold off a strong 2-base push from Voices. Like, Voices is going to be able to get Stim, Combat Shields, Siege, possibly Medivacs, and definitely +1, and then move out with a huge ball of stuff. Roaches, Lings, and Banelings are not going to cut that if Voices micros correctly with Stim.
Yep, definitely. Creep spread could help though. Obviously, Banelings on creep are very quick. He's also getting Baneling speed and Roach speed, which might help him a bit. It will come down to micro, clearly. Stim and Siege Tech are done, so I wouldn't be surprised. He's actually going to kill this Tech Lab, possibly looking to pushing out now.
It's not a fantastic time to push out.
He's doing it anyway.
Mafia doesn't really have any units, so normally Zerg would have a lot more stuff than this, but just now he's getting these Banelings.
He's just waited until his opponent moves
decent
out.
amount of roaches.
Yeah, he's starting to power units. I'm just checking what he's building. He's getting Banelings. He's getting 14 Lings.
His Voice is really going to move out without scanning. Oh, I don't agree with this.
Burrow's getting researched. Luckily, it's not done for Voices, though. Otherwise, a couple of burrowed Banelings could just completely wreck that army. But looks like those Banelings are about to finish. Siege tanks go up, and he's positioning himself right there at that choke, and already spreading Marines out. Very good move there.
He's going to be slowly edging forward with tanks. He needs to clear the creep shimmers out here. Otherwise, just these Banelings and Lings on creep, they could be really, really deadly.
Yep. I mean, 9 more Banelings popping out now. He's got a lot of Banelings. He's going to have to go at some point, obviously. You can't just let him walk strapped to your natural.
I really don't think the Voice is going to be able to hold this if Mafia attacks anytime soon.
true, but it depends on how they engage. If a siege tanks hit all those banelings, I mean, those marines should be able to clean up the rest with upgrades. Roaches are good, but marines are pretty good too. Still, it's going to come a lot down to micro here. More units being rallied in from both players, and we actually have some marines up at this third base, just stopping that. Kind of maybe trying to pull his army, like trying to force Mafia to attack, but it looks like he's just ready to sack that.
I think Mafia should, well, he should have already put down a macro hatch. He's running a little bit high. He's got a little bit too much energy on those queens. He really... Oh,
here we
hang
go.
on. Here's the attack, but where are the banelings?
They're coming in now. Looks
with
like
half of your army.
banelings connect, but I don't think they've killed enough. It'll be quite interesting. Roaches are trying to clean up the tanks. Looks like he
Voices cleans that up.
He does. He's got a few marines left. More units being built though. He's going to rally them straight in there. Roaches, a few lings. Lings on that last siege tank. His army's split in half a bit. There's one siege tank really out of position that does get killed there. He should be able to hold this off though, but Mafia is sort of just trying to kill the reinforcements.
If Mafia attacked with all of his army at once there, it would have been a very different story.
True.
But it was just half and half, so like his first engagement there, he lost most of his units before the banelings even got there, so the tanks were able to do a lot more damage on those banelings. And yeah, it was just miss micro there. He's making a counterattack with roaches, but with siege running back up for voices, yeah, Mafia really needs to retreat and get a third.
He is
and
retreating.
possibly even double expand.
Yeah, I think double expanding is viable on this map especially, because the expansions, I mean, if you can hold where he is now with his roaches, you can kind of almost hold 6 bases, really. So, I mean, it would be fairly safe, I would say. His money is, though, he's doing well with his money, though. I mean, got to say, having, what has he got, 46 harvesters right now, keeping his money low isn't an easy feat, so his macro is quite good.
He's putting up a macro hash as well, which I definitely agree with, considering he lost his third.
Yep. He's getting his third back now, though. Getting double expanding, like you said. He's got the other one just outside his base as well. It's like he's reading your mind. Getting banelings, though. He also has burrows, so I wouldn't mind seeing some burrowed banelings, maybe just to try and either force a raven or to force scans. Either way, 2 banelings for a scan, I would definitely give that up.
What's interesting to me now is that while Voices is slightly ahead in food, he's actually got more SCVs, so I think the food for the armies themselves are actually pretty even. Now, if Mafia gets out some mutas and manages to do some sort of damage, just poke into to Voices' base and put a little pressure on, he'll be able to do a lot of good work. Now, Voices is just barreling down the map, engaging right now. The units are all together. Those tanks are going to be able to do too much damage on those banelings. The banelings just don't get many marines, and I think this is going to be it.
Yep. He does have those 2 spine crawls to maybe buy himself some time. He's building 14 more roaches. There's that one siege tank back there. It's just out of range of the spine crawlers, but really, that siege tank is going to make all the difference if he's going to go in with anything else. Also, more units being rallied in from Voice's base here. Mafia in trouble, but if he can hold this, though, I reckon he will be in a fairly decent position. He has actually cancelled his third base down here. I don't know why he did that, but possibly just needed the money. But 3 base versus 2, if he can get that macro up, he should be okay. But, I mean, that's a lot of marines coming in now.
Roaches is just not the right unit that you want in this situation. Like, Voices has a lot of marauders, a lot of marines, medivacs, and tanks. What is Roaches going to do versus this? You need mutas, and you need lings, and you need banelings.
And even a few infestors as well with them. Just trap the marines, obviously do a lot of damage as well. But yeah, I agree. Roaches are fairly expensive when you get that many of them. And that could be mutas. I mean, lings are pretty cheap, and they're great for just taking shots as well. Definitely wrong unit comp. I mean, early in the game, roaches can work, but at this point... And he actually does a drop there on all the banelings, killing them all. Obviously, weren't on hold position, and I dare say he's not going to have anything to hold this. It is moving forward now. This is going to be game if you can't hold this, but here we go.
Mafia needs to engage before those tanks siege, and the medivacs, marauders, they're just going to be too much here. Sadly, all of Mafia's units will die.
Yep, definitely. He has lost most of them there. He has one siege tank left and enough marines to take this out. There's there's GG, and that will be 2-0 to Voices. So despite picking a map, and it was a fairly macro game, some very good timing pushes there, just not engaging properly and getting the right unit comp.